You've probably met them. The person with the expensive watch who can't afford to buy lunch. The one posting luxury vacations while drowning in debt. The entrepreneur who talks about making millions but never shows up to work. Real wealth is quiet. Fake wealth is loud. And here's what most people don't understand. Spotting fake rich isn't about being judgmental. It's about protecting yourself. Because fake rich people think differently. They make different decisions. They take different risks. Today, we are breaking down 10 signs that someone is living a lie. And by the end of this video, you will understand something most people never do. The difference between looking rich and actually being rich. This channel is about the psychology behind money and power. Subscribe if you want to think like people who actually have it. First sign, they bring up money in almost every conversation. Here's why. Real wealthy people don't need to prove anything. They've already won. They don't need your validation. But fake rich people, they are desperate for it. Think about it. When someone is actually rich, they talk about what they are building, problems they are solving, interesting experiences, future plans. When someone's fake rich, they talk about how much they paid for something, how expensive their thing is, how much money they made, usually exaggerated, comparing their stuff to other people's stuff. I knew a guy once. Every single hangout, he would somehow mention his car payment. Yeah, my BMW's in the shop. Cost like 2 grand to fix. Or, yeah, I just got a new Rolex. Dropped 15K. Why do this? Because deep down, he wasn't confident. Real confidence doesn't need an audience. The psychology here is simple. Insecurity speaks. Security is silent. When someone constantly tells you how rich they are not actually trying to convince you. They are trying to convince themselves. But there is another sign, and it's even more obvious once you see it. Second sign, their financial decisions are weird. They are broke, but they are buying stuff that rich people wouldn't even buy. Fake rich people have backwards priorities. Let me show you what I mean. Real rich people spend money on health and fitness, education and skills, investments that make them more money, time saving tools and services, real estate and assets. Fake rich people spend money on status symbols, watches, cars, clothes, depreciating items that look expensive, one time experiences that they can post about, stuff that loses value the moment they buy it. Here is a classic example, the car. A fake rich person buys a $60,000 car they can't afford on monthly payments. They are excited because, look at me, I made it. A real rich person, if they buy a car, they pay cash. They buy something reliable. Maybe they drive a Tesla for efficiency or a used luxury car that holds value. Why? Because real money thinks in decades, fake money thinks in moments. Watch for this pattern. They have one or two flex items, expensive watch, designer bag, or luxury car. Everything else is cheap or average. They are constantly asking for loans or borrowing money. They eat at expensive restaurants but buy budget groceries. And here's where it gets interesting. Because their lifestyle has a flaw, a crack that's impossible to hide. Third sign, they claim to be rich, but they are always broke. This is the contradiction that reveals everything. If someone actually has money, there is a baseline reality. They don't run out of it. But fake rich people have a specific financial rhythm. Month 1, They make money or get paid. Suddenly, they are buying things, posting, flexing. Week 2 to 3, they are quiet. They are broke. They ask to split bills or borrow money. Month 2, repeat, and the cycle goes on. The reason is fake rich people are spending 80 to 100% of what they make on the image, not on investments, not on building, on maintaining the appearance. Real rich people have a safety net, emergency fund, a passive income, money coming in without working, investments, stocks, real estates, businesses, assets that make them money. So even if they stop working, they are fine. Fake rich people have one income source, massive monthly expenses, no backup plan. One bad month and their whole image collapses. You can literally predict their financial cycles. It's like watching someone on a hamster wheel thinking they are going somewhere. But here's the thing, they cover this up with a technique that is almost genius. Fourth sign, they are rich, but there is no evidence of it. Let me explain what I mean. Fake rich people talk a lot about making money, show the luxury items they bought, post about business or side hustles, claim they are self made or killing it. But notice what's missing, tax returns. Not that you would ask, but there's zero financial documentation, business records or actual clients, employees or a team, consistent, verifiable income, growth over time. Here's the weird part, real successful people can show you their business metrics, their clients lists, their team, their process. Why? Because they have nothing to hide. The success is real. Fake rich people can't because it's all performance. Say someone claims they are making $100,000 a month as a digital entrepreneur. A real entrepreneur can show you where the money comes from, that's which clients, which products. Proof of transactions, that's revenue, numbers, testimonials. The systems that generate this income, the team or automation that makes it work. A fake rich entrepreneur can only show you screenshots, which can be faked, expensive things they bought, vague statements like I am in multiple revenue streams, a lifestyle that doesn't match any real business model. Here's how to spot it fast. If someone is actually rich, their money is a side effect of creating value. If someone is pretending to be rich, the money is the only story they have. Real success has depth. Fake success has only surface. Now, you might think they are stupid for trying this, but they are not. They are using a psychological trick that actually works. Fifth sign, they are in massive debt and pretend it doesn't exist. This is actually the most dangerous sign because it shows a broken mindset. Real wealth building goes like this: make money, keep expenses low, build savings and investments. Let compound growth work. Eventually, you are rich, actually rich. Fake rich people do this: make money, immediately spend it, or borrow money. Use credit to buy status items. Interest payments drain them. Stay trapped. Repeat the cycle by making more money and spending it again. Why do they do this? Because they are chasing a feeling, not a goal. Real rich people are chasing freedom, security, optionality, which is the ability to choose. Fake rich people are chasing respect they don't think they deserve, the feeling of making it, validation from others, the thrill of buying. Watch for these signals. They have expensive items but cheap apartment. They talk about their credit cards or loans. Every purchase is on credit or payment plan. They are stressed about money but hide it. They make impulse purchases to feel better. They are always selling something or side hustling to pay bills. Here's the trap. The more money they spend to look rich, the more they need to make just to pay it back. So they work harder, earn more, and spend all of it. They are not building wealth, they are building a financial prison. And that prison has a very specific look. You can see it if you know what to look for. Sixth sign, They are constantly stressed, even though they claim to be living their best life. And this is the real tell. Real rich people have peace. Fake rich people have panic. Why? Because fake wealth is unstable. It's built on a lie, and lies are exhausting. If someone is actually wealthy, they sleep well, make decisions slowly and calmly, don't overreact to small money problems, have long term plans, seem content. If someone is fake rich, they are constantly checking their phone, that's checking bank accounts, payment due dates, make impulsive decisions, panic when unexpected expenses come up, jump from business idea to business idea, seem like they are running from something. Pay attention to their energy when money comes up in conversation. Real rich people talk about money like they talk about the weather, neutral, factual. Fake rich people have tails. They change the subject quickly, they laugh nervously, they get defensive, they over explain or over justify. Their energy shifts. The human body can't lie for long. Stress hormones activate, heart rate goes up, they get tired. You can see it if you watch closely. Fake rich people are running a con, and the person they are conning the hardest is themselves. That takes energy. But here's what really reveals them, it's how they treat people who can't help them. Seventh sign, their kindness is transactional. Watch how they treat people based on perceived value. Fake rich people are obsessed with status, so their behavior shifts based on who they are with. They will be extremely nice to someone they think is actually rich, be rude or dismissive to service workers, ignore people who can't help them, kiss up to people with power or influence, be fake friendly to people with money, be cold to people they think are below them. Because fake rich people think wealth is zero sum. They think if you are rich, I need to impress you. If you are poor, you are not useful to me. If you have power, I need to align with you. Relationships are currencies. Real rich people understand something different. They understand that anyone can become valuable. Kindness is a skill that scales. People remember how you treated them. Reputation is actual wealth. Long term relationships are greater than short term gains. I've seen this play out dozens of times. Fake rich guy at a restaurant. He is incredibly nice to the hot waitress, rude to the bus boy, dismissive to the host, tries to impress the couple at the next table when he thinks they are wealthy. Real rich person at the same restaurant, they are the same with everyone. They are respectful, they tip well, they remember names, they treat it like they are building relationships, not collecting status points. If someone is only nice to people who can benefit them, they are fake rich. Real wealth gives you permission to be kind to everyone because you have nothing to prove. And when you combine this transactional behavior with the next sign, it becomes impossible for them to hide who they really are. Eighth sign, everything they brag about is something they own, not something they built. This is the difference between money and wealth. Fake rich people brag about, I bought a Rolex. My car costs $80,000. I stay at a five-star hotels. I got designer clothes. My apartment has this view. Real rich people brag about. That's if they brag at all. I built a business that did X amount of dollars in revenue. I solved this problem for 1,000 plus people. I invested in this and it grew up to X amount percentage. I learned this new skill. Our team accomplished this together. Notice the difference? Fake bragging equals consumption, real bragging equals creation. Because possessions can be taken away, they fade, they break, they go out of style. But achievements, they are permanent. They are part of your identity. They lead to more achievements. Fake rich people are insecure about who they are, so they are trying to become who they own. Real rich people are secure in who they are, so the things they own are just things. Watch how someone talks about their stuff. Fake rich. This Rolex proves I'm successful. Real rich. I bought this watch because it's reliable. Fake rich. I stay at the Four Seasons because I am important. Real rich. The Four Seasons is convenient for this trip. Fake rich. Everyone knows my car is the most expensive. Real rich. My car gets me where I need to go. It's the same possession, completely different relationship to it. But here's what really breaks the mask. And it happens when they are in a vulnerable moment. The ninth sign. When things get uncertain, they fall apart. Real wealth is about having options. Fake wealth is about having fear. Watch what happens when fake rich people face a market downturn, job loss or income reduction, an unexpected expense, criticism or public failure. Anyone questioning their story, they panic hard. Real rich people face the same things and respond with analysis. That is, okay, let's figure this out. Optionality. That is, I have 5 ways to respond to this. A plan, which is, here's what I am doing. Because real wealth comes from understanding. Fake wealth comes from lack or timing. When uncertainty hits, luck stops working, and fake wealth has no foundation to stand on. During uncertain times, fake rich people become defensive or angry. They make emotional decisions. They double down on spending, that is to feel better. They try to hide what's happening. They talk about leaving or starting over. They get desperate and unpredictable. Meanwhile, real wealthy people ask questions and listen. They think about long term solutions. They cut expenses strategically, not emotionally. They are transparent about challenges. They focus on what they can control. They get clearer about priorities. Fake wealth is fragile. It breaks under pressure. Real wealth is resilient. It gets stronger under pressure because you actually understand how it works. And then there is a final absolute sign, the one that leaves no room for doubt. The tenth and final sign, they are alone. Fake rich people don't have mentors, advisors, or a real network of powerful people. Real wealth isn't built in isolation, it's built on relationships. When you are actually climbing, you learn from people ahead of you. Build relationships with peers, you help people behind you, you create a network of value. You have advisors or mentors. You know people at different levels. Fake rich people can't do this. Why? Because their story doesn't hold up to scrutiny. A real mentor would see through it. A real network would ask real questions. They are isolated and defensive. They can't maintain fake relationships long term. Fake rich people don't have close friends in business or finance. They can't name mentors who helped them. They claim to be self made, which is almost never true. They don't collaborate or partner with others. They don't invest in relationships. They are isolated despite being surrounded by people. Real successful people have strong relationships with mentors. They have a peer group at their level. They collaborate and partner with others. They help people behind them. They can tell you exactly who helped them, and they have a deep network. Because if you're building something real, you need help, you need guidance, you need connections. But if you are faking it, you can't let anyone close because they might see the truth. This is actually the most important sign. Real wealth is never built alone. The fact that someone is isolated and claiming success is proof that something is wrong with their story. So let's tie this together. You now know the 10 signs that someone is fake rich. 1. They talk about money too much. 2. Their money moves don't make sense. 3. They are always running out of money. 4. Their success has no proof. 5. They are in debt while acting like they've won. 6. They are stressed and anxious. 7. They are only nice when there's something to gain. 8. They brag about possessions, not achievements. 9. They panic during uncertainty. And finally, the 10th, they have no real mentorship or network. But here's what's really important. Understanding this isn't about judging them. It is about understanding how insecurity works, how the human brain tries to fill gaps with status, how people convince themselves that looking rich is the same as being rich. The people you should actually be watching are the quiet ones, the people who never mentioned money, who make boring financial decisions, who have deep relationships, who are calm under pressure, and they brag about what they built, not what they own. They have mentors and advisors. And lastly, they keep growing. Those are the people who actually understand the game. Here is the real psychology. Money is emotional, so is power. And most people confuse the feeling of being rich with actually being rich. The feeling comes and goes. It's based on what others think. But actual wealth is stable. It is based on systems, knowledge, and relationships that can't be faked. The choice is yours. You can chase the feeling or you can build the reality. That's what this channel is about. Understanding the hidden psychology behind money and power. So you don't waste your life chasing someone else's perception of success. If this video hit home, or if you want to think deeper about these patterns, subscribe. We are breaking down the mental models that actually work. Lastly, leave a comment. Which sign did you recognize most? Have you spotted fake rich people in your life? Let us know in the comment section. See you in the next one.